Are you ready to stop guessing and start mastering your holiday wine choices? Hi there, I am Jacqueline for Vero, where we go around the world searching out wild and scarce, hard to find wines, olive oils, and specialty foods to bring to consumers, businesses, and distributors across the US. The holidays are just around the corner, and it's a season of light, family, tradition, and incredible feasts. But with the sheer variety that we will find on our holiday tables, from Hanukkah latkes to Christmas roasts, choosing a wine might feel overwhelming. And while we do not believe that there is no right or wrong in food and wine pairing, as we do consider it both an art and a science, but let's go over some holiday pairing basics to help get you started this season. Today, we are cutting through the holiday noise and we're going to talk about building a guide for you to begin to confidently match any dish on your table. Successful pairing is often compared to matchmaking. We want to look for complementing and contrasting elements between food and wine. The goal is to then analyze the characteristics present in a food and in the wine to determine if they will match up and create a harmonious pairing. It's a topic that we have actually a whole bunch of blogs and a 3-part series on here on YouTube. I will have that all linked below in the description that you can find after this if you are interested in the full deep dive on the topic of food and wine pairing. However, if you haven't seen these blogs and videos before, it might mean that you are not subscribed to the Vero newsletter. In our weekly newsletter, we send out the latest blog posts and any other news like product drops. You can sign up for free on verovino.com that I'll have linked in the description. That subscription, plus a subscribe here on YouTube, will make sure that you never miss any more great content and products from Vero. But for the discussion in today's video, let's quickly recap the basic concepts of food and wine pairing. So as we said, the key to a good pairing is having the structural components of wines and foods that match up. So we are going to analyze a food's characteristics like its fattiness or oiliness, its succulence or juiciness, and its sweet tendency like its natural sugars or starch content. When we pair these against the wine's structural elements, acidity, tannins, sweetness, and effervescence, for example, is when we will evaluate the pairing. We can match up these different characteristics through 2 main principles: complementing and contrasting. In a complementary pairing, we want characteristics that are similar, such as intensity or persistence of flavor. This is the idea that the wines and foods should have similar levels of this characteristic. In a contrasting pairing, we want the characteristics to be opposites, where they will balance and essentially cancel each other out to create a clean palate on the end finale. This can be with characteristics such as fattiness, which goes well with acidity or bubbles, or juicy foods with a drying tannin. So let's dive into some holidays. First off, Hanukkah. A lot of food traditions here will center on oil, and that means fried foods. Some of the more common ones are latkes and donuts. When you're dealing with dishes like these, you need to think about contrasting the fattiness and the oilness. So looking at a dish like latkes, for example, and other savory fried foods, they can leave an oily coating on your palate when you eat a lot of them, right? The structural solution is a wine that will have an extreme cleansing power, so look for high acidity and or bubbles. A great option would be sparkling wine, like a Brut Prosecco or a champagne method wine like an Alta Longa. In these wines, the acidity and effervescence will act like a physical palate cleanser, literally cutting through the grease and refreshing you for another bite. In desserts, well, when sweet foods are fried, we are presented with a unique challenge because we want to both complement the sweetness with sweetness, but we also want to contrast the oil with acidity and bubbles. The solution here is a sweet sparkling wine. Think a Moscato d'Asti, or an extra dry Prosecco or dry Prosecco or other sparkling wines. The residual sugars in the wines will complement the dessert, while the acidity and bubbles will help to keep the pairing from becoming greasy and thick, balancing that frying fat. Moving on to Christmas traditions, we will often see menus that revolve around heavier, more complex dishes. This will require wines that have more body and tannic structure. Looking at main courses and proteins, think rich, succulent centerpieces like prime rib or roast beef. We need the contrasting principle here to help us cut the richness of these dishes. For these juicy meats with a high succulence, look for wines with high tannins. Go for a bold, full-bodied red wine like Barolo or Langhe Nebbiolo, or even a quality Montepulciano d'Abruzzo. Every Christmas table also has an abundance of side dishes, and it would be nearly impossible to go through pairings for each one. But keep in mind the different aspects of these dishes, things such as spices that will be used for intensity, and of course the butter that could increase the fattiness, or the starches with the sweet tendency. All of this might mean that you need a different wine. A pro tip, if your holiday table features a complex array of flavors, can be an orange wine. These skin contact white wines have an acidity of a white wine, but with a hint of tannin and complexity too. The unique dual structure will allow it to pair successfully with a lot of difficult pairing foods, from richer seafood dishes to strong cheeses, spicy Asian cuisine as well. This acts as the ultimate versatile holiday structural wine pairing for us. And let's close out with desserts, that classic holiday staple. We're going to be looking at sweetness. As we mentioned with the fried donuts, we want to match sweet with sweet, but maintain a nice acidity level so that it's not cloying on our palates. Again here, a sweet Moscato d'Asti is a great option, but we like also as well a good pasito dessert wine. They will be well balanced to go with the buttery cookies, Christmas cakes, and fruit tarts. The intensity of flavor in these wines too will give us a nice balance for these spices that tend to go on a lot of holiday baking as well. The structure of these sweet wines will ensure that the last bite of the meal is as balanced and as flavorful as the first. Of course, don't forget that chocolate actually pairs surprisingly well with deep, full-bodied and fruity red wines that have a hint of residual sugar too. Pairing food and wine is an art, but mastering the underlying science and the interactions behind it are a key to success. So when pairing this holiday season, remember to complement or to contrast the structural characteristics of the foods and the wines. To give you a head start at discovering some wines and foods for this, head over to the Vero shop at verovino.com, linked below, to browse our selection of curated wines, olive oils, and specialty food products that are hand-picked to meet our quality standards. These wines will help you discover the characteristics you need to handle your holiday feasts. Our somms pick and taste each product in the Vero shop, testing for quality, and only the best make it to the store. Thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like below and be sure to subscribe here on YouTube and to the Vero newsletter on verovino.com to not miss any more great content or products from Vero. I will leave you with these videos here to keep going on your deep dive to learn about more wine and food pairing. Of course, the team here at Vero wishes you to have a happy, safe, and healthy holiday season. Bye.